Welcome friends, it's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I show you how I create stencils. And I start by using a 7 or 7.5 millimeter thick mylar plastic and cut it down to 4 by 9 or whatever size you want. And then I use dies from my stash. I'm starting with stars, and I get a cascade of sizes. And for this stencil, I am putting them more to the left and cascading down larger. And then I will place some smaller ones at the bottom as well. And so here I'm using my purple tape to affix to hold the dies in place, and then I am going to use a metal shim that I got from Simon Says Stamp and use that along with my die cutting machine to make a sandwich. Once I get these placed where I want them, and I'm kind of alternating like the points sticking up or the points going to the left, I'm alternating that so I don't have all the points going in the same direction. And we'll put my metal shim down on top of my cutting plate, and then my stencil or plastic, and then my top cutting plate, and place that into I have the big kick, so it's like the Big Shot but a little smaller. That is the machine that I have, and so this sandwich works for me. You will need to read and check your machine's guidelines to see which sandwich works for you, but test it, and if it's too tight, then try without the metal shim, and you might have to try some cardstock instead of the metal shim. I will list the metal shim below. I love it, and it works really well for cutting this thick mylar plastic. I will also link the mylar plastic below that I use, and I got it from Amazon, and it comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and so I just cut it down. And I am going to actually make another stencil just to show you that any of the basic shapes from that you might have in your stash would work very well. Probably more the smaller pieces from nesting shapes would work better, as you can see with the stars here. So I keep alternating and moving my smaller stars all around the left side of my stencil until I get those filled in the way I want them. So I love the way this is turning out. My second stencil is also 4 by 9, and I am going to use the triangles from the honey cuts diamond pattern dies. I will show you background using one of the stencils, and then in future videos we'll actually make some cards using these stencils. As with the Cascading Stars stencil, I am alternating the different triangle shapes and placing them on the left, and they will cascade down into various shapes and sizes of triangles. The possibilities for creating your own stencils are endless, and this mylar, it will hold up just as well as any other stencil. It's extra thick, so I love using it for this purpose. and you will see more DIY stencils from me using this mylar. So my question for you today is, what basic shapes do you have in your stash that you can use to make stencils? Even if you don't have this mylar, you can use heavy cardstock. You can also use heavy acetate. Um, Anything that is really sturdy and firm, you can use to make your own stencils. I think I will also make a stencil using some nesting hearts dies that I have in my stash. You saw the honey cut diamonds that are also a part of this same die set. Um, and I'm thinking I might also try some small squares, just the very small ones, as well as some small circles. I'm sure there's plenty more that you can use. So here I am taping my stars stencil to some 120-pound opaque white cardstock, and then I am going to actually use some Distress Oxide Candied Apple Red ink. I am also going to use some Blueprint Sketch ink and chipped sapphire. Oh, and I used a little Festive Berries there. So 2 tones of red and 2 tones of blue. And was thinking at the time of a background for a patriotic card that I was making. I end up not using this design for that card, but you definitely will see some cards made with these stencils moving forward. The options for creating your own stencils are endless. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and will give me a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, good day, friends.